Hey, hi everyone. My name is Atulak. Welcome to yet another episode of Tech This Week. Today, I am going to talk about a market which fascinates me a lot. Something that I've loved, admired over the years. That's the world of automobiles. But it's not just automobiles. I'm going to talk about EVs. It appears to be on everyone's mind. EV is the automobile of the future, is what we are made to believe. So you may be wondering, why am I? We run a company which primarily focuses on technology, discussing the automotive sector. So I think it kind of my it's the point is rhetoric, because if I'm talking about EVs, it's obvious that there is a huge technology piece to it. Let's dig into that as to why we look at it from that perspective. But before that, a little bit of history is required, right? When we think of automobile as a sector, it is the testimony of manufacturing excellence. When we think of manufacturing as a sector, the first probably subject that comes to your mind is automobiles, right? But there have been phases of the automobile revolution. Back in the 40s to say 60s, at least till 50s, we saw cars focusing on mechanical innovation and accessibility. In fact, a great example of that would be the Ford Motor T, yeah, because it drove people from point A to point B. Lot of companies are obviously out there who have pioneered this process. Then came the era of 60s to almost 80s, where it was not just functionality, but people wanted to make the cars more powerful, focus more on style. We had a lot of muscle cars, examples being, again, two American cars I can think of: Chevrolet Camaro and Ford Mustang, right? Then came the world of 80s and 90s, where because of focus on the environment, because of petrol not being as easily available as it was in the past, because prices kept on increasing, we started focusing on areas like efficiency and safety, right? But if you look at the modern car, the question that arises is, are we looking at it purely from a mechanical standpoint, right? I think the question has shifted from how, not only how they are built, but how also they interact, right? In fact, if you two models that come to my mind immediately is Tesla's Model Y and Nissan Leaf, which you see a tectonic shift in how they've kept pace with the evolving consumer preferences. In fact, if you don't take my word for it, and this is astonishing data, which I found hard to believe, but here it goes. In 2023, for the very first time, there was an EV car which was a best-selling car in number of units, and that was a Tesla Model Y, right? It is an all electric vehicle. It's a pure EV. It's not a hybrid. And it was the number one selling car by number of units globally. It's a huge feat, dethroning cars like Toyota's Corolla and so on and so forth. And please be mindful for the fact that this does not come cheap. It's a fairly expensive product as compared to, say, a Toyota Corolla. But then the question that begs to answered is, how did EV become so popular? The more obvious answer to that is, obviously, we are replacing the IC, or the internal combustion engine, with a much more cleaner, more efficient electric powertrain, right? But a closer look will also help you understand that you're shifting your focus from looking at a vehicle not just as a manufacturing product to more of a connected device. I think the best analogy that I could probably think of is, how do you look at, say, your smartphone? Because at the end of the day, that's also a hardware product which is manufactured. But do you term it as a manufactured product, or do you look at it as a technology product? I think the shift here is about that. We're at the heart of this revolution lies technology. So, in this regard, EVs aren't just cars, they are mobile computing devices, which are essentially, in other words, smart devices on wheels. So, in the cognitive era that we live in, it's become how they interact with our daily lives. Much akin to the smartphone, it can connect with your homes, it can switch on, switch off your devices, so on and so forth, right? So the promise of the cognitive era transcends beyond our homes and smartphones and goes to the very fabric of our daily lives by connecting us to a mobility evolution. But an important question that begs to answer here is, what about, do we see a tectonic shift in the supply side ecosystem as well? And I think a very big answer to that lies in Tesla's success. You know, the entry of Tesla in the automotive sector gave one very, very important answer to this, suggesting that, technological innovation rather than manufacturing expertise could be the new driving force in the sector. So therefore, I'll not be surprised when many of the tech giants, like say an Apple or Microsoft or a Facebook, because all these companies are always on the lookout for diversification. So could automobiles be the next area that they're focusing on? I know there was a story which came out a week or two back saying that Apple has dropped the idea of manufacturing a electric vehicle. But please note, they have called out this plan to drop the idea of manufacturing. Nowhere does it say they have planned to probably buy EV unit or as a whole. So there's a lot to see as we look into it. And last but not least, something that you may want to ponder upon it. We've seen throughout history conglomerates, but very rarely have we seen pure play tech companies becoming conglomerates. But has the time come when we see a tech company, say like a Microsoft or Apple, venturing outside the tech world and actually entering into other sectors and making a living out of it? That's the power of technology. A lot to think on this. Wrap up from my end. Have a great day. Bye.